Social game maker Zynga plans to sell 100 million shares for as much as $1 billion.
The internet radio company raised its IPO price range, giving it a value of almost $2 billion.
Analysts have been valuing the company at up to $9 billion.
Rippln went public and gained a $12.65 billion valuation through its initial public offering.
When Facebook went public, it was a big company, but on paper, it was even bigger, valued at a whopping $104 billion.
We are in the midst of a revolution. The way business has been done for decades is changing, and it's changing fast. Never before have companies been able to grow so quickly and reach such record amounts of wealth than they are right now. And it's this phenomenon that we're going to explore in this video as we show you exactly what the Rippln platform is and why this is such an exciting time for you to be hearing about it. The truth is, technology is making possible new ways of creating income and meeting our financial needs that we couldn't have even fathomed just 3 years ago. Rippln is at the forefront of exploring this new bridge between tech companies and the users who populate them. Inside this video, we're going to explain a brand new concept called incentivized sharing. Now, this new concept has the power to change how new websites, apps, services, and products get distributed today, while at the same time revolutionizing the distribution of that wealth. We believe that it's time for the people who are responsible for sharing these companies to participate in the extraordinary wealth that's being created. This video is about that, plus so much more. So sit tight and make sure you can focus right now. We don't recommend you miss a word. So let's rewind the clock about 1 decade ago. Sitting in a small dorm room at Harvard University, Mark Zuckerberg birthed the phenomenon that we all know as Facebook. From those humble beginnings, over 1 billion people are now connected through what we call the social graph via Facebook. Now, it's the largest social graph on the planet, and Facebook went on to have the largest tech IPO in history, valued at close to $100 billion. Well, that all sounds great, but what does it have to do with you might be thinking? Well, that's a great question, and here's the answer. Did you ever consider who built Facebook? And no, we don't mean the people who wrote the code or came up with the idea, but the people who distributed it, the people who are responsible for all the other things being there, the people who made Facebook worth $100 billion. How did that happen? And the answer is you. It happened because of you. Whether you know it or not, if you're on Facebook, you are partly responsible for the mega money Facebook is now worth. Facebook was built by us, the people. It was person to person to person, how Facebook was shared across the world. And the power of that one-to-one connection equaled over 1 billion people in just a single decade. Now, do you remember some of those other companies we mentioned at the beginning too? Zynga, the makers of Farmville, Angry Birds, from Ravio, Pinterest, Pandora, Foursquare, Instagram. Guess how these companies all became worth billions? Guess how their apps or their games spread to hundreds of millions of people? You guessed it, it was you. You see, the fastest growing tech companies in the world today are leveraging the social graph that's already been built. They plug into the network that we, the people, have created. And because it's so easy to share person to person to person through our mobile phones or the internet, these companies are reaching record amounts of users and record valuations in record times. But what if you actually knew how much your word of mouth sharing was worth? What if transparency actually existed in how your social graph spread, so you could see what your ripple effect on the world actually is? Well, currently there's absolutely no way for any of us to know how many people are on Facebook because we are. We don't know if by joining Facebook and inviting some friends we haven't connected to in a while resulted in